Okay, so I just want to be extremely clear what we're about to do now. Now that we have our FTP set up, our file transfer protocol is now complete. So now we can upload, download, make changes, upload multiple files, multiple folders at the same time, etc., etc., etc. I want to make this so enjoyable and so simple it's frightening. Some people get very, very confused with this whole file management thing. So I just want to keep this so simple, it's frighteningly simple. So again, there's a couple different ways we can upload and download files. We can go to the Site menu and Site Files. I'm sorry, my mistake on that. Window menu, Window Files. Excuse me. Okay, so this is my file directory. Now, if you want to connect to your files, I already happen to be connected to my host server. But if your host server wasn't connected, so as an example, say you were someplace else, okay? So I'm going to pick that particular website because that's the site that we set up in our first video, Site, New Site. Now, if you want to adjust your existing site, you can just go to Manage Sites, and this will give you a complete list of every site on your computer. Dreamweaver can manage hundreds of sites at the same time. So I can double click and go back into the settings of this particular site in case I make typos, etc., etc. If you want to change your password or something, you can come in here and just double click. Now, since this is all set up correctly, which we did in our previous video, I now want to see the page that's on my web server. So as an example, I want to make a change to this existing page. Now, this page was set up by default by the hosting company. Now, what I want to do here, guys, is I want to make this a little bit more personalized. Name of the site that's coming, who it's being developed by, maybe put some contact information there. So therefore, somebody can contact me about new web projects when they see this web project. Okay, so how do we do that? Okay, first of all, we need to go back to Dreamweaver, and we need to connect to the server. The simplest way to connect to the server is under Window, Files. It brings up this dialog box, this little system here. Now, if I click here, this is going to connect to the server. Okay, so right now there's two files. There's a CGI folder, and there's this file here. So if I double click or download this file, two choices here. I could download the file by, actually three choices. I can download the file by double clicking Command-Shift-D for download, Control-Shift-D for Windows, or I can hit the download arrow here. Now again, if this window is not up, it's under the Window menu, Window Files, Command-Shift-F, Control-Shift-F. Then I click right here to connect to the server. I'm sorry, right here to connect to the server. This will refresh the server. Now I want to take this file as opposed to that file. Now, of course, if you want to download an entire existing site, then you select the whole entire folder. So we're going to select this file and download it to our local server. Now, Dreamweaver is going to say, do you want to include any dependent files? Well, let's understand what a dependent file is. It's a file that this file depends on. Graphics, JPEGs, movie files, external style sheets. We don't have any. We're going to say no. Now, this is just a good production technique. I'm going to double click that index page. Notice it's called the INDEX page. That's the home page for the server. If I call it anything but the index page, if I call it indexes, if I call it Poindexter, if I call it index version 2, it's not the home page of that root directory of the www folder. I want to be extremely clear about that. Now, let's say as an example that this was an existing page, you're not sure, you do want to make changes to it. So what I highly suggest we do here is go to File, Save As, and we're going to call this what it is. We're going to say original backup before today's date. What I typically do is B4 as in B4 as in B4, letter B, number 4, today's date, which is 4/9. So I'm going to save this as 4/9. Now, extremely important step here, and it's very simple to screw this one up. I don't want to work on this file. This is the original file. I want to close that file. Notice Dreamweaver kept the original here and made this new file. I want to close this file. This is the file I want to make changes to. So the simplest way to do that, I'm going to put my cursor right here, arrow key to the left, hit the return key. We're going to put name of the site.com. So whatever your site name is, in this particular case, my Dreamweaver website.com. Okay. Now, it also makes total sense to change the title page, to change the title of your page. So what's under development? So we're going to take this information, we're going to copy it, and we're going to put it up here. So in search engines, that's going to come up. Okay. So now I'm going to put my cursor right here and hit the return key. I want to put some contact information, maybe my email address. So I'm simply going to say contact us. Okay, I'm going to select that. In order to affect the content, we need to select the content. The content is now selected, therefore the content can be affected. Okay, so I'm going to come down here into my property palette where it says link. And what are we going to do there? We're going to type in the link protocol for an email page. We're going to type in mail, M-A-I-L-T-O, mail to. Then we're going to put in my email address. So we're going to put something like contact me at mysite.com. Okay. Now I want to share with you a very, very important step here. Okay. Hit return key. By the way, there's my hyperlink. There's my hyperlink that's going to go to an email program. Now, here's what I want to share with you. Put your cursor back down there at the end of your email address. Make sure your cursor's at the end of the text chain. Now, one of my biggest pet peeves is when I get email, is to get an email that doesn't have a subject line. Okay, my 71-year-old mother, who unfortunately died last June, okay, knew to fill in the subject line. She was 71. What does she know about computers? If she can figure it out, you can figure it out. So here's what I want to accomplish here. When I get an email, I don't want to have the person guess as to what the subject line is going to be. So I'm going to show you a simple technique of pre-populating the subject line. Inside the dialog box, mail to, email address, .com.net, whatever your email address is, then question mark, .com, subject, S-U-B-J-E-C-T, equals simple. Then whatever you want the subject to say, I'm going to put in I space need or info. This is plain old simple text here, guys, if you look at the bottom here. So now when somebody clicks on that link, it will pre-populate the subject line to say, I need more info, or whatever it is that you want to say when you click your email address. It'll save the headaches from getting email with no subject line. It's a good production technique. Now, we've made changes to the original page. We've made changes to this page. We now want to upload those new changes. So here's a couple of choices I have. I could come up here and I could say Command-Shift-U, upload the page. Then I have to go to a browser window and type in the web address. I don't want to have to do that. Okay? So in this particular case, I already have a browser. So I don't want to have to create a new browser window. I'm going to close this browser window for a second. Okay? So what I want to do is if you simply, I just want to get this into your head. Whether you upload the page or preview in browser, it's the same exact thing. It's the same thing. They both put the page selected files on the server. They both do that. The difference being preview in browser uploads a browser window so you don't have to type the web address. That's the only difference. They both put them on the server. So as an example, if you were to go here or hit Command-Shift-U, it's going to say, do you want to put this on the server? Well, testing, I don't have any dependent files. I'm going to say no. So how do I know this new change is on the server? Well, if I go to Window Files, I can see that I can check the date here, etc., and see that new change has been uploaded. Okay. Now, I don't have a browser window. I close that browser window. So now I can let Dreamweaver publish the file for me inside of a browser window. Now, I want to be extremely clear about this, guys. You don't have to do both. You don't upload the file plus browser window. Either or depends on your objective. If you simply want to upload a bunch of files and you're not concerned about looking at them right now, then just upload files, file uploads. As an example, if you're going to upload multiple files, you can do that from here in your file manager. I can upload this page, this page, this page, or I can upload an entire folder. In this particular case, I'm going to go to File, File, Preview in Browser, and we're going to preview this in Firefox. Now, again, I set up my browser windows on Edit Browser that Firefox is my secondary browser and Google is my primary browser. You can set that up any way you choose. So we're going to say File, File, Preview, Browser, and Firefox. So it's going to ask us a few questions here. Do we want to put this on the testing server? Well, obviously, if I say no, nothing's going to happen. So I want to say yes. Then it's going to say, do you have any dependent files? Well, an example of a dependent file would be a graphic or a graphic or a JPEG file or a movie file or external CSS. We don't have any, so we're going to say no. And just like that, it's going to take this new page we've created or a page we made changes to and post our new changes. So here's the new title information, here's the new website information, and if I click right here, it will take me to an email program, and it's going to pre-populate the subject line to say, I need more info. Why is it going to do that? Because inside of our link dialog box, we had mail to : name of the email address.com or .net, or whatever your email address is, question mark, subject equals, and then type in what you want the subject line to be. It's really that simple. Okay, now let's understand something. Okay, so this page has been changed on the server. So this page is not going to be, this is going to be the page until the day we launch the site. This page is not going to change, barring typos, or maybe I want to put a graphic or a picture up there. But this page is not going to change until I launch the site for the client. But in the meantime, I'm going to create version pages, index version 1, index version 2, etc., etc., etc. So how do I get this new test page, this new version page on my server? Very, very, very simply. Okay, I can either go to here and hit Command-Shift-U, or I can go to my file manager and select the up arrow, down arrow. Again, that's how I get things from my website. I click right here and I hit the down arrow. I click right here and I hit the up arrow. So the three choices that I have, actually four choices, I could come here and say upload. I can do Command-Shift-U, Control-Shift-U for Windows or Mac. I could go to my window file manager, which I just showed you. Or if I don't want to have to type the new web address into a browser, I can let Dreamweaver do the work for me by going to Preview in Browser, Firefox, or whatever browser you want to pick. Testing server, yes. Dependent files, we don't have any. Dependent files, no. So it's going to take this file and put it on the server. So I want to be extremely, extremely clear about this, guys, okay? This is my version page. This is not the home page. If I delete this information right here, this is going to take me to the home page, which is my index. Physically, index.html. That becomes my home page. This is my home page. That page is never going to change. Okay? This is my version page, etc., etc., etc. So if you want to make changes to your existing version page, I'm going to refresh the browser. I'm going to refresh the file manager by clicking right here. This is going to show me the new pages that are uploaded. So let's say as an example that you did this at work, but then you want to work with the files at home. Well, you go to you set up the same FTP setup at home. You log on to the server by clicking right here and refresh the page. Then it would take this page from the server and download it to your local computer at home or at the office or on your laptop. It could not be that simple. It's simpler than you think. So let's take this page, file, save as. Let's come up with a new version of this page. File, save as. We're going to call this version 2. Okay. So let's just call this website version 2. Now again, the choices that I have, I can simply upload the page, or I can publish to a browser. You're not going to do both. You can do one or the other. If you simply want this to be on the server, so when you get home you can look at it, that's up to you. But if you want to publish this inside of a browser window, then File, Preview in Browser, Firefox, or Chrome, or whatever browser you're picking. Testing server, yes. Dependent files, no. So it's going to take this new version 2, and there you go. So there's version 2. Okay. So if I do index, so let's do /index, index hyphen version 1.html. So here's my first version. So here's my second version. Here's my first version. Here's my home page. Simple, simple, simple. So you're not going to interfere with the home page. So again, once you have your file manager up here, if it's not up here, it's under Window Files. Then I connect to the server by clicking right here. I refresh the server by clicking right here. Now I want to share with you a very, very, very powerful technique. Now I'm going to take this one step at a time. This can potentially hurt your head, but I just want to share with you how simple it is that Dreamweaver will keep track of the files for you. There's no dragging and dropping like Fetch or WS Pro or other FTP programs that might work before. I want to make this so simple for you. So we're going to create a new page from scratch. File, new file, new HTML5 page. Now, I want to save this page inside of a new folder. So we're going to create a folder, new folder called version, let's just call this folder version 3. Now, very, very important step, and here's where your head's going to fall off your shoulder. We're going to call this the index page. Now, didn't I just get through saying that the index page is the home page? Yes, it's the home page for each folder. Each folder, each directory, guys, can have its own index page. This is going to be the index page for the version 3 folder, version 4 folder, version 5 folder. So we're going to save this inside of a new folder. Okay, then we're going to come up here and title our page. So I would typically put in something like mysite.com and whatever information you want to put up there. Okay, let's put some simple text here. Okay, this is home page version 3. And let's make this a header tag by coming right here at 1. Now again, I don't want your heads to fall off your shoulder here. What I've done here is I simply created a brand new page from scratch. I saved that brand new page inside of a new folder. Now I just didn't put the folder any place. I made absolute sure that that folder was inside my root folder. That's my defined folder. I can't be making folders just random on my desktop. They have to be part of this root directory. In fact, as we'll learn in subsequent videos, images, JPEGs, GIF files, movie files must be part of this root directory. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay, so I'm going to publish this file. Now, very important step. How do I publish the file? The same way we did before. I made a brand new file from scratch. I put the brand new file in a brand new folder. So I simply go to the File menu and Preview in Browser, Firefox. Testing server, yes. Dependent files, we don't have any. And there you go. Just like that, it took that file. Dreamweaver knew exactly where to put the file. This is not Fetch. We're not dropping. We're not dragging. We're letting Dreamweaver tell me where the files go. So this is a folder called version 3 inside my website. So this is the index page inside of version 3. So technically, I can kill this other information. I can just say version 3 because that's the INDEX. So a site can have many index pages, but it has to be in separate folders. So if you come back to Dreamweaver again, and I take this and I'm going to say file save as hyphen version 2. This is the version 2 page inside the version 3 folder. This is the second version of the version 3. I don't want to confuse you with stuff here. This is just the name of the file. So now, when I go to File, Preview in Browser, what is it going to do? It's going to put this new file inside the same folder. Dreamweaver knows exactly where to put the files. it puts it inside of version 3. Why? Because it was saved in version 3. Wherever you save the files, Dreamweaver knows where to put the file. So if I go back to Dreamweaver again and I go to my file manager, when I get home, I can just log onto my server, click to log onto the server, select that folder, select the entire folder, and download the folder. That's how we upload files, download files, upload files, download files. In order to affect the file, we need to select the file. It's really, really, really that simple, guys. In order to affect, we need to select. So see you soon. Make sure you subscribe to me, guys. I put a lot of effort into these videos to make it simple, enjoyable. So subscribe to my videos, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook. All the information is inside the description link. Thank you.